Yamuna tira banachade Yamuna tira banachade Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabe Hare Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabe Hare Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Shri Shri Radha Nandaneshwara ki Jai Jangre Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Jam Shupad Paramamsa Privradi Kacharya Statra Shatra Shri Shri Matra Janga Swami Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai All glories to the Samal devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjanam Shulakaya Chakshuranmritam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Budaya Mahaprema Puro Vibhur Nirmaya Kshetaya Musha Purusha Vamte Ganan Sudasha Sudasatmakarvam Krishista Mangaman Vacham Sime Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. So today we're going to read from the 3rd chapter of 11th canto, which is entitled Liberation from the Illusory Energy, text number 31. Smaranta Smarayantascha Smaranta Smarayantascha Mitho Gautaram Harim Mitho Gaudharam Harim Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya Vibhatyut Pulakam Tanum Vibhatyut Pulakam Tanum Smarantam Smarayantascha Mitho Gaudharam Harim Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya Vibhatyut Pulakam Tanum Smaranta Smarayantascha Anyone else? Smaranta Smarayantascha Ladies, please. Smaranta smarayantascha Midokadha haram harim Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya Vibhratyutpulakam tanum. Smaranta, remembering. Smarayantacha, and reminding. Midha, one another. Akha okha haram, who takes away everything inauspicious from the devotee. Even sounds very horrible, right? Akha okha haram. Harim, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhaktya, by devotion. Sanjataya, awakened. Bhaktya, by devotion. Vibhrati, possesses. Utpulakam, agitated by ecstasy. Tanum, body. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So Prabhupada ki jai. The devotees of the Lord constantly discuss the glories of the personality of Godhead among themselves. Thus they constantly remember the Lord and remind one another of His qualities and pastimes. In this way, by their devotion to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, the devotees please the personality of Godhead, who takes away from them everything inauspicious. Being purified of all impediments, the devotees awaken to pure love of Godhead, and thus, even within this world, their spiritualized bodies exhibit symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, such as standing of the bodily hairs on end. Purport. The word Aggaukha haram is very significant in this verse. Agha refers to that which is inauspicious or sinful. The living entity is actually Satchitananda Vigraha, or eternal and full of bliss and knowledge, but by neglecting his eternal relationship with Krishna, the personality of Godhead, he commits sinful activities and undergoes the inauspicious result in a form of material suffering. The chain of sinful reactions is called Akha, or a relentless wave of suffering. Krishna is Akha Okha Harim. He takes away the sinful reactions of his devotees, who are thus entitled to experience the inconceivable bliss of the kingdom of God even while remaining in this world. The words Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya indicate that there are two divisions of Bhakti Yoga, Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada has elaborately explained in his book, The Nectar of Devotion, the progress of the devotee from Sadhana Bhakti, or the execution of regulative principles, to Raganuga Bhakti, or service executed in love of Godhead. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a liberated soul is always enthusiastic due to the appearance of transcendental ecstasy within his body. Thus he always aspires to remain overwhelmed in chanting the glories of the personality of Godhead. Hari. Smaranta smarayantascha mitho gaudha haram harim Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya vipartyutpalakam tanum. The devotees of the Lord constantly discuss the glories of the personality of Godhead among themselves. Thus they constantly remember the Lord and remind one another of His qualities and pastimes. In this way, by their devotion to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, the devotees please the personality of Godhead, who takes away from them everything inauspicious. Being purified of all impediments, the devotees awaken to pure love of Godhead, and thus, even within this world, their spiritualist bodies exhibit symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, such as standing of the bodily hairs on end. So, this is one of the most popular statements in Bhakti Shastra, in scriptures glorifying the devotional service of the Lord. And we can understand that these are the main scriptures, what Srila Prabhupada gave us, the main body of Vedic literature, because, as we know, Srila Vyasadeva, who wrote the entire Vedic literature, he wanted it to be understandable for common people, right? And therefore he wrote Mahabharata, which would help people to understand Vedic knowledge through the medium of stories. But then, the most important part of Mahabharata is what? Bhagavad Gita, spoken by the Supreme Lord Himself. And actually, Sripad Shankaracharya, the greatest proponent of Vedic wisdom, defined Bhagavad Gita as Gita Upanishad, the most important of all the Vedic literatures, because it was spoken by the Supreme Lord Himself. And, as we know from Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasadeva, after compiling all the Vedic literature, including Mahabharata, still was not satisfied, because, as it was pointed out by Narad Muni, he failed to glorify exclusively the Supreme Lord and help everyone to understand that He is the only Supreme Lord, and devotional service unto Him is the topmost perfection of life. And that's why Srila Vyasadeva compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. And as we know, all the Vedic literatures are summarized in the codes form in Vedanta Sutra. Veda, Anta. Veda means knowledge, Anta means ultimate. So these are sutras, or the codes, which give you ultimate knowledge, ultimate understanding. And what is Srimad Bhagavatam? It's Srila Vyasadev's personal commentary on Vedanta Sutra. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam starts in exactly the same way as Vedanta Sutra. What is the first verse of Vedanta Sutra? Yeah, Janmadi Asyayataha. And how does the Bhagavatam starts? Janmadi Asyayataha Noyat Itaratashyartashu Abhijaswarat, etc. So, very, very clearly it can be seen that this is the purport to the most important summary of all the Vedic wisdom. And this is one of the most important statements in the most important Vedic scriptures. How to execute bhakti and what does it mean to perform bhakti yoga, the topmost yoga system. Therefore, this is what Bhagavad Gita explains, one of the most important verses in Bhagavad Gita, second verse from Chatur Shloki, chapter 10, text 9 says, Matchita Matkata Pranam Badayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are dedicated to my service. And
and they always rejoice and enlighten one another in discussing topics related to myself, right? They always feel satisfaction, tushyanti, and ramanti, bliss, by engaging in this process of discussing Krishna and everything related to Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-25, very easy to remember the number. Lord Kapila Dev, who is self-same Supreme Lord, propounder of the original Sankhya Yoga system, explains also the same topic. Satam prasanga mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karna rasayana katha tad joshanat ashu apavarga vartmani shadarachir bhaktir anukramishati. He says, what do devotees do? What does sadhu sangha means? Right? Because sadhu sangha is very important. It's the foundation of spiritual development. And so this verse is very elaborately explains what does real sadhu sangha means. It says satam prasanga. Pra, this is the prefix in Sanskrit which amplifies the meaning of the verse, of the word, right? For example, hlada, like we have hladini shakti, the pleasure potency, right? So hlada means pleasure, right? And if you add pra before the hlada, it becomes extreme pleasure, like Prahlad Maharaj, right? The boy was in such an ecstasy that even the ongoing attempts of his own father to assassinate him didn't bother him. Can you imagine such a positive attitude, right? That your own father is trying to kill you in so many ways, you don't care. You're still happy. So this is Prahlad. And so if you put the prefix pra before sangha, it becomes very deep association, right? Satam prasanga. Satam means sadhu, same thing, right? So, yeah, we meant to go very deep in our association with devotees. Into what? Into computer games or something else? Into sleeping, eating? No. Kapila Dev says, Satam prasanga mama virya samvido. Mama means mine, virya means heroic activities, and samvido means realizing, getting deeper understanding. So satam prasanga mama virya samvido means that devotees, they go very deep into discussing and realizing my, glorious activities, my feats, and Bhavanti hrit karna rasayana katha. Bhavanti becomes hrit karna. Hrit means heart. Interesting, right? Very similar to English. Hrit, heart. Karna means ears, and Rasayana means nectarian, and Katha means discussion, right? So these topics, they are pure nectar, which goes into the ear and right into the heart, right? And gives so much pleasure. And what even more so, that tat joshana ashu apavarga vartmani, that very quickly ashu, very soon. Apavarga Vartmani, one follows the path of liberation. Right? This chapter is also called Liberation from the Illusory Energy. How many of us are interested in liberation from the influence of illusion? So, how do we become liberated? This is the process. By discussing topics about Krishna and by realizing these topics. And in this way we follow the path of apavarga, right? So Prabhupada explains, Jai Shri Shri Radhanandeshwar Jagannath Bhadev Subhadramaya Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Rainbow dress, very nice. So Prabhupada explains, or Acharyas also explain, that the word pavarga means conditioned life, right? The group of what do you call it? Labels? Syllables, vowels, right? Labial vowels, that the sounds which you pronounce with your lips, labials. Yeah, vowels. Yeah. So papha, babha, ma. So that's the group of the sounds which you pronounce with your lips, right? And so pa means parishrama, right? And parishrama means what? Hard work. How hard? Next syllable. Next sound is pa. Apha means penna. Penna means foam. Working so hard that foam comes from the mouth. And why people work so hard? What do they gain? Next one is ba. Ba means banda or bondage. They work so hard to bind themselves. How crazy the material world is, right? To gain more and more chain which binds them to this material world. They become more and more attached as a result of their hard work. And then next is bha. And bha means bhaya. Bhaya means what? Fear. So they become fearful. They are full of fear. Bhaya dvitiya viniveshatasyat, as same 11th canto says, that the foundation of material existence is fear, which produces duality. And what's the ultimate result? Ma. Ma means Mara. What is Mara? Kaput. Finished. Yes, death. So it's very amazing that people, they are engaged in this parishrama, work so hard with the foam in their mouth, just to become bound, fearful, and ultimately dead. So this is what material existence is. But devotees are following the path of apavarga. When there is a prefix a in front of the word, it makes the meaning of the word, turns it into completely opposite, right? So devotees don't do any parishrama, they don't do any hard work. What do devotees do? Instead of parishrama, they do parikrama. They just enjoy walking around holy places, or they enjoy walking in the fresh air with Prabhupada's books in their hands, and they approach people they want to talk to, and they give them Prabhupada's books, and they have nice conversation, and people appreciate so much, they take books, they give donations, etc., right? Devotees do whatever they like. They are not bound, they are not obliged. So, or sometimes devotees do Bhumi Mandal Parikrama around the world, traveling visiting different holy places on the planet. Prabhupada established, it's very nice also. And devotees are not exerting themselves. They might be sweating, but not because of the hard work. Sweat is one of the symptoms of ecstasy, and it appears when devotees dance in kirtan. I guess this is the first symptom of ecstasy which appears in devotees, on devotees' body. And so devotees are not bound, devotees are free from the bondage. This is one of the first benefits Krishna consciousness gives, right? For example, if we just contemplate on this one single fact, that because we have this positive process of Krishna consciousness, very easily we can give up all types of sinful activities, right? Follow four regulative principles. And now, just for a minute, contemplate how much freedom you've gained just by following these regulative principles, right? That's why Bhagavad Gita says these are regulative principles of freedom. How many troubles people are getting into already in this lifetime, right? By eating rotten flesh, right? So many diseases and so many fears actually also come from that, right? Because scientists, they say when the animals are killed in a slaughterhouse, they feel fearful, and so this fear produces some chemicals which are in the body of the animal, and so people consume the flesh and they become also full of fear, right? Anxiety. And so many unlimited troubles we become free from just by abstaining from meat eating. What to speak of intoxications, right? Destroying your body, not only willingly but also paying money. How crazy one can be to pay money for poison to kill himself, right? Or what to speak of sex. Anekachitta vibranta. The anxieties or the troubles resulting from unrestricted sex life are, limitless. Venereal diseases, AIDS, very terrible diseases, abortions, and jealousy, sins, people killing each other men are killing each other for a woman, or women are doing horrible things to each other to possess a man, and all kind of madness results from unrestricted sex. And gambling. Whoever wins in gambling, only the gambling house. And they are so bold, they even advertise, I saw the advertisement, that gamble in our gambling house, we give you back 80% of your money. And people don't think, I'm destined to lose, the only winner is the gambling house. Why do I have to throw my money, hard-earned money away like that, wasted? And so, how much gain do we have in our lives just because we follow these simple four principles of freedom, right? Become free from disease, become free from unnecessary anxieties, become free from fears and bad association. Speak of bad association. If you follow four regulative principles, can bad people associate with you? I mean, you don't drink, you don't do what they do, They don't know what to do with you. They just have to leave you alone. Okay, this is a strange guy. He doesn't live my lifestyle. So much freedom we're gaining by, practicing different elements of bhakti yoga. And so, therefore, devotees are not bound, devotees are free. And the more one becomes serious in the devotional service, the higher freedom one gains, right? And ultimately one becomes completely free. To such an extent that one becomes free completely from the core miseries of material existence, which are birth, death, old age, and disease. So I've seen that. I think I was mentioning here some time ago my personal experience, observation of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, our ISKCON Sridhar Maharaj, late Sridhar Maharaj, who left his body in 2004, and he was so sick, and his liver was completely destroyed by 3 terminal diseases. Hepatitis C, cirrhosis, and liver cancer. All 3, affected the same organ in the body. And he was like terminal liver patient. And if anyone knows anything about medical science, when someone's liver is affected, then the first sign that these people are, in the best case scenario, they're completely depressed, and it is happening due to just chemical factors, because liver is meant to purify the blood. And so when liver is affected, when liver is diseased, the blood is not purified, so all the toxins go into the brain, so naturally one becomes depressed. Or many times these kind of people, they go in coma, right? And here I've seen with my own eyes the worst liver patient ever. Have you been in Mayapur, Gopinath Prabhu, in 2004?
I don't think I was there.
Yeah. It was very interesting because my Guru Maharaj brought Sridhar Swami to Mayapur to help him in the process of going back to Godhead. And we were very surprised to observe him because he never went in coma. And what to speak of being depressed, he was the jolliest man of all of us. We were all healthy. He was sick, but he was so happy. We were like, wow, what he's so happy about. And he kept cracking so many jokes about, his being so sick and ready to die, that he was going to die. The man was joking about his own death and about his own disease. And we were like, wow, it's impossible. How this can be? And then I've realized, I couldn't figure it out. But then I've realized it is true what Srila Prabhupada speaks. Iha yasya haryardasya karmana manasa gira nikila sapyavastastu jivan mukta se uchate. That if in this world someone is dedicating himself to the service of Hari, same name by the way, which is used in this verse, the Lord takes away everything inauspicious and dedicates karmana manasa gira in this process. Karmana means actions, and manasa and gira words. Nikhila sapyavastastu jivan mukta sauchate. Such a person, even while in this world, he becomes completely liberated soul, jivan mukta. And Srila Prabhupada gives an analogy that ripened coconut within the coconut shell is separated from the shell, even though he is within the shell, right? So in the same way, liberated devotee, even though he is in the material world, he is not affected by the circumstances. And I could see in front of my very eyes how this is happening. And I was so shocked. I was thinking, wow, this is unbelievable, this is unexplainable by any material means phenomena. How this man can be so jolly in such a terrible state. And he would, talk to so many different devotees, and I was passing by him, I offered him my obeisances, and he remembered me from somewhere, remembered my name. He said, "Oh, how are you?" And I said, "Oh, Maharaj, I feel so enthused just by seeing you, because I see the proof in your case how what Prabhupada says is happening in devotees' lives." And then he kind of smiled. He said, "Yes." And then he kind of slapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Don't worry, you'll get the same thing." Not meaning the disease, of course, but he said, if you practice long enough, you'll achieve the same result. So, hoping, just waiting for his blessing to become realized. And then he quoted that famous verse from the prayers of Lord Brahma as well. Tattenu kampam susumikṣamano muñana evatma kritam vipakam ridvagbapurgir vidadan namustaya jivetu mukti padaya sadaya bhak. That one who is earnestly serving the Lord, even though undergoing different tribulations of the material world, of the material existence, and dedicates, again, Hrit Vag Vapur, dedicates in this service his consciousness, his heart, puts his heart into this service, his words and his body. Body, mind and words again. And then he becomes, the liberation, the ultimate liberation, which means going back home, back to Godhead, becomes such a person's rightful claim. So, and therefore devotees are liberated souls. They are not bound by any means. And we are very fortunate that somehow, probably when we came in touch with Krishna consciousness, we actually failed even to realize how fortunate we are, right? At least I couldn't figure it out from the start. I was interested in few little things, but I couldn't expect Krishna consciousness to be such an unlimited treasure house of so many, blessings. And, it's the process of practicing Krishna consciousness is the process of unending discoveries, right? It's so wonderful, so amazing. And so freedom is a big thing. And devotees are gaining so much freedom. And naturally, devotees are not fearful, right? Devotees are not even fearful of death. This is the ultimate fear, is fear of death, right? Because what is death? Like what we are fearing of. I mean, for example, we can be afraid of losing, anyone's afraid of losing mobile phone? Because all your contacts there, all your information there. If you lose it, you're in trouble, right? Or lose your wallet, lose your bank card, especially if you're traveling somewhere away and it's hard to restore it. Or what to speak of losing part of the body in some accident, right? Even a small finger or toe, we not really want to lose it, right? Like one devotee in LA, Prabhupada disciple, quite funny. He got, his toe got infected on the foot, and he went to the doctor, and actually he got gangrene on his toe. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, I'm sorry, but this toe has to be removed, otherwise the gangrene will affect your whole foot. And of course this devotee was not very happy with the news, but the doctor kind of joked with him. He said, what do you worry about? You have 10 toes, it's only one which we're going to remove. And he said, okay, this is one, but this is my toe. If that would be your toe, you wouldn't speak like that. You would not be so jolly. So we don't want to lose even like little part of our body. But what is death? You lose all your toes, all your fingers, both hands, both legs, your trunk, your head, your bank balance, your car, your family, everything. Death means you lose everything you have. So therefore death, confirmation, death is the most fearful experience, right? And devotees are so fearless, they're not even afraid of death. Like Srila Prabhupada, we know so many, of course, Prabhupada was born being Abhay Charan, right? Abhay means fearless. And so even his spiritual master didn't change his name, right? He just added Abhay Charana Ravinda. Fearless because of accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, right? As we sing, Bhajahure Manashi Nandanandana Abhay Charana Ravindare. Right? Actually interesting. When we sing this song, we can remember Srila Prabhupada, because he was the perfect example of that. Complete surrender, complete shelter at the Lord's lotus feet, and he was completely fearless. Like there are so many stories about his being completely fearless. I mean, speaking about being fearless, to go to the opposite side of the globe with no contacts, with no support, no money, nothing, at such an age, and start an international movement. He was ready to die trying. So he was so fearless. And it's very difficult at the age of 70. Like Bhakti Charamara said, none of us would be able to understand Prabhupada's sacrifice until we turn 70, then we will know how difficult it is. Right? Before we turn 70, we would never be able to understand. And so Srila Prabhupada was fearless. And there were so many instances in his life. Like one instance, he was famous that during the World War II, when there was a bombing of Calcutta done, and he was sitting outside and eating kachoris, and then the siren announced that it's a bombing alert, everyone has to go to the shelter. And so everyone was running, everyone was running to the shelter, and Prabhupada's wife was telling him, Abhay, we have to go to the shelter, it's the bombs will be coming. And Prabhupada said, don't disturb me, I'm taking prasadam. But she said, these are bombs, you might die. And he said, don't you understand? This is prasadam. Prasadam means Lord's mercy. So this is Lord's mercy. Bombs are also Lord's mercy. Because nothing happens without Krishna's will. So Rake Krishna Mareke, Mare Krishna Rakeke. If Krishna wants to save me, no one will be able to kill me. But if Krishna wants to kill me, no one will be able to save me. So what do I care? You go, I'll continue. And he described, actually. He was taking kachoris, looking at the bombs, blasts. Interesting. And then Prabhupada commented, he said, this was also like one of the forms of the Lord, like universal form. But he was, eating kachoris, was thinking, this is the form which will be very hard to establish relationship with. So what kind of rasa I can have with this form of the Lord? So he was completely fearless. And we can see that his disciples were also fearless, doing so many amazing, and are so fearless, doing so many amazing things for Krishna. Like for the disappearance of anyway, that Gargamuni Prabhu is recollecting how him and Brahmananda Prabhu went to Pakistan to preach, and there was a war in there during the wartime, and they went and they were captured by the Muslim soldiers, and these were like, for them, these were enemies, Hindu priests, especially Americans converted into Hinduism. So they wanted to shoot them, and so they put them next to the kind of gutter where so many dead bodies were already, and they were like ready to shoot them. And Brahmananda, and they were like chanting, that Brahmananda told Gargamuni, okay, it seems like we're going back home, back to Gotit, so we should chant japa. And they took their beads out and they, got ready to be shot, as if they were posing for the photograph or something, chanting japa like that, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And the soldiers realized, they have absolutely no fear. And they realized these are saints. And so they had no nerve to shoot them. And so they put their guns down. They said, please go. You are free. So this is Krishna consciousness. Makes you completely fearless. And what's the next one? Yeah. There is no death for devotees either. And I could tell you more on the subject, but we have only 3 minutes left before the end of the class. But that the ultimate gain, not the ultimate gain, but one of the serious gains. The ultimate gain, the topmost gain, of course, is love of Godhead. But immortality, which is attainable already in this lifetime by the process of devotional service, is also quite a serious achievement. There are so many people practicing very seriously, and all they want is to achieve immortality. Like some Buddhists, Taoism, that's their goal, to achieve immortality. But in Krishna consciousness, you don't have to strive for it separately. It just comes as one of the byproducts of devotional service. So that's why devotees realize all these benefits, and that's why they are so enthusiastic about the process. Hare Krishna. So, any comments, questions, suggestions, complaints? Gopinath Prabhu.
You spoke about these
Microphone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class. You mentioned these 5 pavargas. What is actually devotees' observation about these 5 pavargas? Shouldn't be those pavargas affect only devotee, or just a devotee is kind of above this, even though they would be happening to a devotee?
Yes, as we were mentioning yesterday, devotional service gives results according to the seriousness of the practitioner. And so, if someone is seriously practicing devotional service, it gives all these results on the topmost level. But if someone is just not very serious, then of course the benefits will be limited. So one may still be affected by the material duality. All right. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Bruno.
Hare Krishna. And the very thought of Srila Prabhupada having 2 heart attacks in the middle of the ocean on Jaladuta.
Yes.
Normally, as human, if anybody has a heartache, immediately you go for an ECG, you go to a hospital, and people want to, take you somewhere. And he's in the middle of the ocean, and he's got 2 heart attacks, and there's no doctor, and he's just dependent on Krishna. And on top of that, he says, "If you brought me here, you brought me for a reason. If you have a reason, you know the reason, and I'm willing to dance." And after those 2 heart attacks, he never ever had a heart attack whenever he went for a ECG checkup.
Well, he had some heart attacks later, but interesting point is that after these 2 heart attacks, and it's serious medical condition, he never went to the hospital upon arrival. He just went ahead with his preaching, he didn't care. Prabhupada was so amazing. Yes, thank you. Anyone else? All right. 3, 2, 1. We'll finish here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Samaveta Bhakta Brinda ki jai.
His Holiness Bhakti Rasayana Swami Sagar Maharaj ki jai. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any score? Scores are not here. Okay, so our Sankirtan secretary Robert is sick, so we should pray for him. So please, devotees, say a little prayer for him. Like that. Yeah. He's getting better. Thank you very much, Robert. Yeah. Okay, we have finally some scores, Street Sankirtan scores to read. Okay, so like this, 10 scores were submitted yesterday, starting with guest greeters. Okay, we have so many scores. Very nice. Okay, so we'll start with Closet Krishna.